So what are you annoyed about this week?
I'm annoyed about tons of things, but particularly that this fucking message isn't going through.
How important is this?
It's at the very end of it, and I sent it. I was at the gym, beating up an inanimate object, as I do, and you started texting me, and I didn't appreciate it, and I wanted to, first of all, I opened the phone and pressed the thing for Siri. You, like, press a button, and I said, threaten Pena, and it didn't do anything with that, as expected. I thought I'd give it a shot. Nothing happened. So I figured I'd have to do it myself, but you continued texting me. This is about 3 texts, by the way. This isn't a lot. I get angry. And I said, shut up, oh my God. And you said, someone's grumpy. So I was like, all right. And then I just sat down in the middle of the floor in an entire gymnasium and took off my gloves specifically so I could send this message. We got it sending. Yes. Okay,
wow,
cool.
There you go.
I just scared it into going through. All right.
Do you want to read it out loud, or should I read it out loud?
Nah, you got this.
Well, after I said you're grumpy, I sent the gif of the SpongeBob title cards going like 2,000 years later, 6 hours later, whatever. Then I finally got your message that you've been really hyping up, and it says, quote, I'm gonna peel your cock like a carrot and suck out your tiny, shriveled soul through it like a straw.
I was really happy with that. Mind you, when I finished working out, I shake a lot, so there were quite a bit of errors that I had to delete and then go back to.
Oh, God. That's... You
know...
Have you ever considered writing poetry?
All the time. But, you know, people send me little drawings that they do of me. Not all of them are worth, posting on my story. Normally, I don't repost things anymore. I just take a screenshot and then tag them in it so they get some clout and they can get some recognition for the cool stuff they do. But I usually do a play by ear of how long it looks like they've taken on doing it. And if it looks like they did 3 lines on a sticky note, I'm not going to post that. Mm-hmm. But no matter how long they take to draw it, people have been consistently sending me drawings, and I think I've talked about this before. It's been progressively getting more demonic, their depictions of me.
Yeah.
Sharp teeth and horns are usually the staples.
I was gonna
and I wonder why that is.
Because all of your drawings look like demonic versions of yourself.
Nah, it's just how I see myself.
I think it was like even right now, your new profile picture
I love
on
it.
Google. It's
Completely
you with
nails
sharp
exactly
teeth.
what I think of myself.
Yeah, and you also have like very heavy bags under your eyes.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and your eyebrows are just like curly waves, and I don't know what the dashes underneath your neck are supposed to be. It's definitely not
shading.
Not shading. Okay, I was gonna say it's definitely not facial hair.
No,
but. Yeah, I definitely get demonic vibes from that, and some of your other stuff definitely gets out there. Especially the one that you posted recently of some sort of demon figure hanging a man.
Oh, choking some little twink. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that was. I mean, like I don't know where the inspiration for that came from, but
nowhere at all.
Just came to you in a moment of artistic passion. But okay, that's fine. I mean, do you take offense to when people draw you as like
no, I love
a
it.
demon? Okay, there you go. So there's no issue whatsoever then. I don't know why you would complain about
I wanted
that.
to decapitate you.
I mean, you can. I wonder what
it's 30 minutes drive.
What did I look like in your artistic interpretation? Like if you drew me like getting hung
rectangular
like a demon, angular,
rectangular.
That's fair.
Here,
I
I'll
guess.
do it. I'll draw you now.
All right, do it.
I don't have a pen. I have a pencil.
While you do that, I'll tell you this like brief story that you would have reacted very differently in this situation than I did.
You assume too much.
No, you definitely would have ripped this guy's head off, I feel like. But so I'm driving for DoorDash, whatever, to make money, and I pick up this one delivery from Nando's, that chicken place.
I love it.
And I go, and I'm leaving, and I get a phone call from the customer, and he's like, hey, just wanted to know, what's the sitch? And I was like, oh, I literally have your food right now. I'm on the way. And they were like, cool, that's fine, yeah. And then I get there, and I like pull into this like office complex, and I'm getting ready to park. I'm not lost or anything. And I get another phone call saying like, hey, yeah, man, like I'm looking at you on the map thing, and just wanted to like give you directions because you might be confused. You should go this way, yada yada yada. And I was like, okay, I'm totally fine, but like thanks for being courteous, I guess, whatever. And he was like, yeah, man, no worries. Just come on in. Come on up to the 4th floor or whatever. And I was like, okay, sure. This guy really wants his chicken like as fast as possible. And then I get up there, and the office is like entirely dark. There's not a light on. I thought they were closed. But the door, I opened the door, and someone peeps out of like another room, and like it's him, and he comes to get his stuff, and he's like, oh, cool, yeah, thanks, man. He's like, why are you so late? What took you so long? And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, it took you a long time. And I was like, internally, I was like, I didn't think it took that long, but whatever. I was like, I don't know, traffic and stuff, I guess. And he was like, I just came into the office like half an hour ago. There was no traffic outside whatsoever. And I was like, well, here's your fucking food. Like, I didn't say fucking. I was like, here's your food. Hope you like it. Bye. And I just left.
He sounds fun. I don't know if I would have torn that guy's head off, but I would have definitely had some...
But the way he said it was like, it was like pretty cheerful, like what took you so long? It was like he was trying to be my buddy at the same time like criticizing like what I was doing.
Oh, yeah.
I hated that shit. Like, I feel you definitely would have been like...
There's also no more of an answer than, this is how long it took me. I didn't take a detour or anything. Sorry
exactly.
It took me this long.
Like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, my entire mission for the past like half hour has been just getting you your food. Like,
yeah.
I didn't like stop for gas or stop to use the bathroom or anything. Like, I just had to drive to the restaurant, get the food from the restaurant, and then drive to you. Like, that's all I've been doing. Like, sorry to let you down.
But no, I wouldn't have killed that guy.
Really? What would you have said in that situation? Just like here's your food, enjoy, bye.
Yeah, I can't see it would work out for me if I would physically attack him.
I mean, okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but still, I feel like you would have definitely come on here and like ranted about that much more than I did.
Oh, definitely if it happened to me. Also,
Yeah.
I would have painted it so that it was entirely his fault, and he caused the traffic somehow magically.
I bet, but yeah, he was like some tech bro worker. I don't know. He like rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know why, but that like stayed with me the rest of my like shift. I was like, this fucking guy. Can't believe this guy. I wasn't late. I was fucking getting him his food the whole goddamn time. Fuck that guy. Anyways, that was the highlight of my day yesterday. DoorDash is a lot. My car just smells like food all the time now, and it's not fun when you can't eat the food.
I got to your ears and your jaw and your hairline.
Yeah, I'm curious if you could send me that so I could see
done.
how gross you drew me.
I'm not done.
Do you tend to bring out the ugly features in people, or do you tend to bring out their best features?
I'm not good at drawing people.
You're pretty good at drawing yourself in an interesting way. I feel like you'd be good
I've looked
at
at my
drawing
face
other
100% of the time, every time I look in a mirror for my entire life, so it's easy to replicate simple features and stuff. But when people, usually girls, it's harder for. I don't know why, but they'll be like, draw me, and I'll say no, and they'll be like, why? And give me the business about it. And then I'll draw them, and they'll be like, that sucks. I don't look anything like that. And I'm like, I'm glad we did this. This was fun.
I was really into drawing as a kid, and there was always this debate.
Did you finish your DoorDash story?
I did, yes.
Oh, cool. And then nothing happened. Yeah. Continue?
I was into drawing as a kid, and in the class, me and my friends would always get into arguments about who was the best drawer and stuff. And there was this scandal when we discovered that one of the kids who we thought was the best drawer was actually tracing over other images and passing them off as, oh yeah, I just drew this like artistic interpretation of this thing. So for example, he would put a thin piece of paper over, like the lined ruled paper that's pretty thin you get in a notebook. He'd put that, say, over like a movie poster or something, and then he would just carefully like trace out like all the lines and make it look like he redrew it himself like by hand. So he was a big fucking faker, but at the same time that taught me that is a good technique, and for a while afterwards I did the same thing and then tried to impress my parents with it, and they also thought I was very artistically talented. So
you're a fucking cheater.
I know. I really am.
There was a kid who I had a fucking civics or something with in high school. I think I was like a sophomore, and I would draw these little guns, and I did one really, really particularly good drawing of like a hand musket, or what it was called, a pistol version of a musket, those rifle things.
Yeah.
And it was really nice, and I was getting ready to put it in my bag with my notes and stuff, and he snatched it out of my hand. This was the same kid who was like a small fry, but he bullied me. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he snatched it out of my hand, and then he held it under his under the desk, and then he took a picture of it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then later on, I learned that he put that on Snapchat and claimed it was his art. So I know the feeling.
What the fuck?
But the reverse.
Wait, how old were you? Snapchat was around back then?
In sophomore year of high school.
Oh. Yeah, I guess it was.
It was quite a big deal.
I'm so goddamn old, Jesus. Okay.
You're not. You're a year fucking older than me. Shut the fuck up.
Life is
God,
fleeting.
I'm ancient.
I do have... Because before when we were kids, we had no preconception that certain things were old or from another time. But now, even like in our 20s, I feel that there are a bunch of things like that. Like even, for example, I used to play with like a Game Boy all the time when I was a kid, right?
Do you have acne?
And do I have acne?
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't put it in.
Where is it?
Don't draw it. No, I'm not going to tell you.
Then it's not honest.
No, I don't care.
Do you have big ears?
It's not honest that you're a demon and have razor sharp teeth.
Yeah, but it's what I am on the inside.
What do you think I am on the inside?
You're like Eeyore.
Oh, are you going to make me look sad?
You kind of do all the time.
No, I don't like that.
People say I look angry a lot. What were you talking about before I mentioned your features?
I don't remember now.
Oh, cool.
I think...
That was probably really boring anyway.
Fuck you. I think you actually do...
This isn't a bad drawing of you.
Well,
I would say, and this isn't... I don't know. Remember what your hairline looks like at all.
Like Steph Curry's. There's a fucking picture of me on the Hangouts thing.
Oh, there is, but I'm on the audio thing. Hold on.
Oh my god. Well, it's still my profile picture. I don't have my webcam on.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
So go off of that.
You have the you're sort of like the guy who played Dumbledore hairline.
The old or the new one?
I don't know. The guy who
Jude
has
Law?
a bit of a back up hairline, but he has still nice hair, so he looks suave as fuck. That dude.
That's true. Oh well, thank you. That's such like almost a genuine compliment from you.
This is your portrait.
There we go. I remember though every time you would come into work at the pool back then, some days you really looked like you were really fucking angry. Why does my ear have 3 holes?
That's what ears look like, bro.
This is kind of cool. Like I'm not.
You asked.
I'm not mad about this. I like this. I mean, I look sad, but like
if you look at a picture of you with just a relaxed face, you have thin eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten this complaint too that I have thinner eyes, and you're looking like just tired or sad.
I like this. Like I dig this. I'm not actually mad about this.
I don't remember what your hair is like. I just remember the last time I saw you when we had that had fun. You had a shorter on the side.
You gotta stop saying. We're gonna stop saying it like that.
I just want to give it as much emphasis as possible so that people know we were fucking.
I dig it though. Thank you for that. But no, you actually do look sometimes like you could strangle a man to death with your bare hands.
I mean, I don't look like I could physically do that, but I do look like I have the aspirations.
I think you could also do it physically for sure.
I mean, more now than I could when we were working together originally.
No, there was that brief period of time where you were still like pretty jacked.
Yeah,
and still
you
working.
gotta understand how being really thin and tall is not great for being a fist fighter.
I mean,
I got the reach, but then people can throw me off in about 4 seconds.
Well, there's less of you to hit too. That's another thing you need to consider.
That's not at all how it works, but I got you.
It's fine. But you would come in the morning, especially, and you would look like you had the devil in your eyes. And if I spoke to you wrong incorrectly,
because I get insomnia. I don't like sleeping.
That's true. How bad is your insomnia these days? Because sometimes your sleep cycle is totally fucked and you're awake at like 5 a.m. And then sometimes you fuck yourself so hard that you get back to normal for a bit. Like this morning you were up at 7 a.m., which is like a relatively like normal time. So
it's because I've been awake for like 3 days.
It's 3 days straight?
Yeah.
Jesus. Have you like actually like gone to a doctor or anything?
Should I?
Yeah.
Works pretty well for me. I don't know.
There are ways to fix that if you want to sleep.
What if I like my life how it is? I hate doctors as well.
Are you one of those people that doesn't trust like doctors for whatever reason?
No, it's just it takes too long. I'm trapped in a room.
I mean, it doesn't take that long. It takes like half an hour.
It takes pretty fucking long.
When was the last time you got a checkup?
Last year.
That's not bad. Are you afraid of needles?
Not at all. I love needles.
Okay. So needles are fun.
That's linked to a bunch of other fucked up shit.
Do you like ever? No, I was gonna ask you if you ever stab yourself.
Have I ever stabbed myself?
Stab yourself for fun. I don't know why. that's a
so.
dumb
Oh,
question.
is that like what's the mental health word? Self-harm?
Not even in that way.
Have I stabbed myself out of like curiosity?
Yes.
Definitely. For about a year, maybe.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, it's not in a self-harm way, but more like you want to see
I'm
if
such a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there have been other situations where implements have been used, but it wasn't a what's the word? Self-destructive reason. It was a fun reason.
It was a passion. It was a fun.
It was passion. Yeah,
it was a passionate.
Lots
reason.
of passion in between the sheets.
Like, have you ever put a push pin or a bobby pin between like the webbing of your fingers, or like the tip of your finger?
A push pin between the webbing of my fingers.
Or like,
no, I can't say I have. I did almost. I put a. There was like a coat hanger or something. It was made of steel.
Jeez.
And I took it apart because I loved doing that as a kid. And I left it in my closet. And just like maybe 6 or 7 months ago, I found it and I was going to throw it away. And I just grabbed it the wrong way. And I slipped and then slapped my hand onto something else to just catch myself. And it went right through my hand. And it came out the other side.
Really?
So I've done the most extreme version of a push pin.
Like straight through like the palm of your hand?
Yeah, it was like if you look at your your hand with your right hand with your palm facing your face, and then like the part of your thumb that moves that's like part of your palm, the center of that, and then it came out between the ligament of your index finger and your thumb, and that's how it happened.
Jesus Christ, that hurt. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I showed you guys the. My hands are fucked, dude.
Yeah, dude, you fuck your hands hard.
No, but like you've seen the pictures.
Yeah. Like, wait, so what? Did you just yank it out?
Oh yeah.
And
I know you're not supposed to do that. There wasn't actually much blood.
That's insane. Like, that's definitely something I would immediately go see a doctor.
You know, I've always had that thought that it would be like if you get stabbed, all the muscles would like slingshot back up like elastic, and you'd have to pull them down and reattach them together.
Yeah.
But there was no damage. I can still move my hands exactly how. Oh wait, no, I can't. Oh yeah.
This injury
I
did
up my
fuck me
knuckles
up
recently. I showed you guys those pictures.
Yeah, because you were like punching a bag for like exercise.
It looks like I got
into
a fight with a man made of glass. And the middle finger on my left hand, there was a cut on the center of my middle knuckle, and it cut through to the tendon that moves your middle finger. It's just like a little like thin rope that tugs on your finger and makes it move. And it fused to the skin on top of the knuckle. So now it moves with it. So like my whole top of the left hand just moves together with the skin. It's super gross.
Jesus. Right. So it sounds like it didn't like heal correctly then.
Nope.
See, this is why you should go see doctors then.
Fuck doctors.
Has this like affected your like fine like hand movement at all?
Motor
like,
skills? No, not at all.
Really?
Because I gripped and extended my hands and just tore the scar tissue until it just moved exactly how it used to.
Jesus Christ.
It was annoying.
I feel like you would definitely be able to survive in like the Wild West, just like sustaining random injuries constantly.
Yeah, I have, and this isn't even. It's a bad reason to have a high pay tolerance when you almost enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you would like get shot and just like walk it off, like
and just go like, ugh.
Like you just go to the bathroom real quick, like fish it out, and like put some paper towels in there, and then go about your day.
I had a piece of glass stuck in, like right where your pubes start, like below your belly button. And then gets to your wiener. I had the top of that area.
Okay.
I had a little you know how like a glass pane will shatter, and not a shard of glass, but like a little cuboid of glass got stuck in there, and then it healed over time. I have no idea where it came from, but it was in there, and I just started to notice it like 4 months ago, and so I had to take a knife and cut it open and take it out.
So there was a piece of glass inside
a piece of glass in me, and now there's a little scar.
That's fucking crazy. This is why you need to go to doctors
Dude,
more.
my back, it's like war zone. It's a lot.
You look like fucking like Daredevil or some shit. You look like
I'm sure you've had people who will cut up your back during plow.
Not like that. Jesus, like not like that at all.
Have you ever had anybody draw blood?
No.
What?
Yeah, no.
Oh, never mind.
No.
I mean, that's never happened to me either. But
I don't know what you're talking about. I am so averse to injury.
Really?
Yeah, I have never broken a bone, for one.
Neither have I.
You've never broken a bone, really?
No.
I've
no, wait, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother, I was sitting next to him on the couch, and then I took the remote away from him. This is my older brother. I don't even know if he remembers this, but we were like freshman high school. He was maybe a sophomore, and he was just really pissed at me, and he stood up and then put a hand on my shoulder and took his right hand and just hammered it into my sternum like 15 times as hard as he could. And then I stood up and I couldn't stand up for the pain in my chest. So I'm pretty sure I fractured like part of my rib cage, and there's still a lump where it is. So that was fun.
And you did not get that checked out.
Didn't get that checked out out of shame. Because I knew that if I told my parents, then they would like throw my older brother in a fucking wood crate.
So when was the last? It's probably best if I ask you. When was the last time you actually went to a doctor for like an injury or an issue? That was like an issue.
I never go for injuries.
A specific issue or injury.
I go for like allergy crap.
That's funny because on the scale of things that like are life threatening, like
this is the thing I care about the most.
Yeah, you just like don't want to be stuffed up anymore. Then you're like, give me
I
super
bought a
Claritin.
neti pot. No, my mom bought me a neti pot for Christmas, and goddamn, it worked for like an hour, and then it's back to this shit.
What does it do exactly?
You put a saline. It's like saline water and purified water. You put like perfect pure salt in there, like a little tiny spoonful, and then you stir it around, and it looks like a little like teapot. And you pour it into one nose and lean so your nose is horizontal, and then it comes out the other one. But I'm so stuffed up that it just stays in my sinus, and then I turn back and it comes out the nose. I put it in the nostril. I put it into, so it's pretty fucking useless.
That sounds fucking gross though, like just bouncing a liquid around your sinuses.
See, it feels good because having any movement up there is really satisfying because it's mostly just concrete.
Yeah. God. You ever have those they sell these especially for newborns. I remember when my sister was a little baby. Remember my sister was a little sister. It's this rubber ball with like a hose, not a hose, but like a fucking long part of it, and you put the long part of it in your nose, and you can like squeeze it, and it creates a vacuum and sucks the boogers out of your nose.
Are you talking about that thing that on iCarly that Freddie's mom stuck up his nose?
I think so. It looks like an aqua globe.
Because you're describing a turkey baster.
Is that what it is? No way.
Are you talking about those little? It's like a giant eye drop thing.
Turkey baster. Let me see.
You're fucking googling it.
Sort of, yeah. It works basically the same way, except in reverse. So instead of pouring stuff in your nose, you're supposed to the suction. Once you let go, it'll like create suction to suck the shit out of your nose.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nasty, but thankfully I haven't been like super stuffed up in a long time. I usually just like, actually I had a really terrible sinus infection like a year ago. I don't really know if it was a sinus infection because I took a page out of your book and didn't go see a doctor.
It's not my book.
But I like couldn't breathe out of my entire nose for like a solid week, and I would just be constantly have to go to the bathroom like every hour to just like blow the shit out of my face and try and get like as much out of my nose as possible. And I think at some point it's not even mucus that's blocking your nose, but like your fucking nostrils or something must be so inflamed that the airway just shuts off. I feel like that's what's going on, because when I fucking like clearing everything out with like water, blowing it, etc., like at some point there's an upper limit on how unstuffed I can get. You know, as much as you clear out of there, like the shit's gonna stay in there. Like I
feel like I produce enough. I don't drink enough liquid for the amount I produce out of my nose.
Yeah,
it's created through like atmospheric pressure or something. There's some celestial force that puts it like teleporting into my nose because I don't consume enough liquid for that to work. Maybe it's a Coke Zero.
I don't think so. Maybe. But I don't think so because like a bunch of other people suffer from like the same thing.
I'm just gonna stop drinking water.
That's definitely the answer.
If it means I can breathe out my nose, I'll do fucking anything.
When I actually have the flu, which is like a separate issue, when like my body feels like death and like I can't move, something that actually like helps me feel back to normal without taking any medicine is just chugging like 2 bottles of water back to back. And so my body's temporarily like very, very hydrated. So it's like re-energized to fight whatever it is it's fighting. And then after like an hour or 2, I'll go back to feeling like shit. But that's like a weird thing I've noticed as well, is that when I have the flu, the more hydrated I am, the better I feel, actually.
Can I complain about something that has nothing to do with this conversation?
Go for it. Let's shift away from allergies.
So I love thrift stores. It's like my favorite place, my favorite environment to stand in other than like 7-Eleven. And I fucking love 7-Eleven. Let me just think about that for a little bit. All right, okay, cool.
What do you even love about 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven, fuck you, all right? 7-Eleven smells amazing, and the people who work there are cool, and everybody who goes there is like a greasy little goblin, just like me. I feel at home.
7-Elevens do have like
it's
a
like
particular
what the
smell.
fucking Arby's or whatever when you hear your family, and 7-Eleven's policy is when you hear go fuck yourself, and I really enjoy that.
I think it's the smell of the Frosty machine.
That does a lot of it, but there's just a combination of all the things you smell.
Yeah, and the weird oven hot dogs or whatever they got.
Chicken
under the heat
wings.
lamp.
Yeah. But anyway, thrift stores, I love those places because all my clothing is from thrift stores, and it's just like things that people have worn. I don't like new clothing. I don't know why. Maybe that makes me a head ass or something. But all my boots and crap, it's just old shit. I got this really neat belt. And I showed you guys, whenever I find an old book, I give it to my mom, and she cries and then hugs me. And I feel like a winner. And I noticed this about a year ago when I first started going to thrift stores, because someone just sort of like got me into them. You walk into a thrift store, and you'll notice that if there's labels, it'll be like women's clothing, women's clothing, women's clothing, and then off in the corner somewhere is this little pile of trash, and it's just like, this is men's, and then that's it for you guys. And I originally thought that was frustrating, because it's like, this is all I've got, and I'm sure that the only reason is there's a larger market for women's clothing, and this is just the tail end of that, which is everything that's collected over time. People get rid of shit, and it's going to be a lot more women's clothing. Makes sense. But I found it infuriating, because it's just like, women, come search for your clothing here. And men, if you want, there's like a couple pieces of fabric over there you can probably string together into a shirt if you really want to. And I thought that was annoying. But then, like, 6 months later, I had this epiphany, and I was just like, huh, I can wear any kind of clothing. Who cares if it's labeled as women's? I have like 3 pairs of jeans that are labeled as women's clothing. I have tons of shoes that are supposed to be for a woman. All my shirts and blouses are like women's clothing, and their fabric is amazing.
Really?
I've made an entirely different discovery. I don't know if you've ever been to a thrift store, but it really annoyed me.
I went thrifting a lot in high school, and I like to go thrifting, but I just haven't been too often because I.
Can we go to a thrift store?
I'm sure we can. You can show me your favorite ones. I used to go to one on
My favorite's Unique.
I used to go to the Amvets, which is it's what it's technically called on the inside, but the outside is just a giant, like in Western saloon font for some reason. It just says thrift store in big yellow letters. I don't know. I don't know why.
Thrift store, come on in.
Exactly. I love that place though, because my favorite thing to do at a thrift store actually is to look at old electronics and like old
and just touch the big
movies and video games and stuff, just to see like. Most of the time it's like a lot of hot garbage, but like sometimes you'll find just like neat little like things. Like, for example, my high school girlfriend at the time was super into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was like her favorite show of all time.
So you stabbed her in the heart with a stake?
Exactly. And then I went to the thrift store and tried to sell it. But she found in like the movie section a like the full complete DVD box set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for like $20, then that thing is normally worth like upwards of like $100. So shit like that is like golden finds.
Yeah.
When you have your golden finds, you feel on top of the world. There's no feeling better than that.
When I find old books, I look around and like I almost want to like pocket it because I feel like it's like I don't know, like Charlie at Chocolate Factory when he gets his golden ticket and then mob forms and they try to like molest him. I don't want to get that, and I just want my book and to put it down on the counter and not to have them be like, oh, this is a special book. It's actually going to cost $900, and it never happens. It's always like this is 50 cents, and I go like, ugh, and then I run out of the store like I'm getting away with something. But the book I got from my mom the other day was a 1945 December 25th edition of the New Testament Bible, red letter edition, which you thought was funny because it was red letter media.
Yeah.
That was instantly what caught my eye when the spine said red letter. It had nothing to do with the Bible.
Yeah.
And I gave that to her, and she was very happy. But yeah, old shit like that's awesome.
So how many of these old books have you given to your mom by now exactly?
I ended up not giving her the Irish, what's it called? Irish census thing, because it was like tangentially connected to something she's interested in, but not quite there. So I swapped it out for the Don Quixote thing, and then I eventually gave her the Bible. So I think that was better. But
so you're just holding on to the Irish census thing?
Maybe next Christmas, but like
emergency present,
or like Mother's Day or her birthday or something.
Oh, true.
All of which have passed by now. But let's see. I got her a 1850s or something, a book of poetry from London, which was only cool for her because it was old. She doesn't like poetry or anything like that. And it was just this leather-bound little, it looks like a Bible almost. Just like this really cool like leather-bound thing. And it was cool that it was old. And then I got her the Don Quixote thing and then this Bible. So yeah.
Does she actually like read them, or like what does she do with them?
She has read Don Quixote. When she was in Mexico, she had to read that for an assignment for school. So I didn't know that shit. So when I got that, and she was just like, "Did you know that I had to read that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I knew."
Of course I knew.
Why do you think I would give this to you?
And you said she uses the Bible you got her.
Yeah, for one specific thing. That's not necessarily we need to mention, but yeah, there's some troubles for her family right now, and I wonder if she's going to do that. Use it for. I don't know. I guess I believe that religion is just using old tomes that you have to cast spells. But
yeah,
I assume she could use that for something.
That's funny. It's funny. There's this like one like warm spot that is your heart, and it's like your relationship with your mom. Yeah, and I think that's sweet.
You're a cold piece of shit, and you lie and steal and destroy houses, but you like your mom, so I guess it's okay.
Your heart is like a cold, barren wasteland that is darker than Antarctica and a black hole combined, but you like your mom, which is sweet, so that's one redeeming factor.
And I feel like it's not so much that the teeth and horns are like I'm a demon and like a dark lord of the night, but more like I'm a greasy little creature who'll steal things from you and lie to you. And trick you into like signing a contract that gives away your eyes or something.
You're like a greasy little creature that just likes to like
the idea of a permanent like orgy of blood and death in hell. It's just like a red-skinned like tailed and horned creature, and it's just me like swimming in organs and blood and like yeah. But yeah, that scene with Charlie is a Chocolate Factory where all the people come up and start touching him and stuff. What the fuck was that? I would never trust that many people to be around a child actor.
Jesus Christ.
Did you fucking, speaking of child actors, Kevin Spacey.
Oh, God.
I mean, that's just what made me think of it. But he posted a fucking Psychopath video. I cannot believe this, man.
There was a great tweet by KT Nelson or whatever on Twitter that was like... Kevin Spacey's like, you sure this is going to work? Man who looks suspiciously like the district attorney but with a mustache. Yes, absolutely.
But anyone who doesn't know, Kevin Spacey put a video out, and you watched the actual thing. I didn't.
I watched the whole thing, yeah.
He put out a video that was him in his character of Frank Underwood from House of Cards, who has a Southern Belle accent and is very flamboyant. And he had an apron on, and he was in like a kitchen, and he was doing like you watched the video, so you explain what he was doing.
Well, so he was in his kitchen literally just doing random shit. preparing food or whatever. I don't know why. And he turns to the camera and is like talking to the camera directly to the audience or whatever in full character. And the video title is called Let's Be Franks, which is Frank Underwood from House of Cards. So you can tell that's what he's going for. And in it, he does this weird monologue that is both about how the latest season of House of Cards was bad because he wasn't in it, which is like kind of true. But then also goes on about like how accusations made against him haven't been proven true in like court. And he's like, you wouldn't believe something that hasn't proven to be true or whatever, yada, yada. Like, and then he also goes on to like say that the audience is at fault because they loved him for like the character he was doing or something.
Fuck?
Yeah, it was bizarre. Like he was saying that we loved him for like his bad behavior, and it's this weird thing where he can't separate his character and like what he does in real life. And it was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. But it basically boiled down to that. And it was
That's the
funny.
dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's
what?
so
So
stupid.
you're okay with this fictitious character murdering people, but the moment I do it, then it's wrong? Okay, gotcha, idiot.
The way
What the
he
fuck
said
is
it
wrong with you?
was weird because it felt like he was definitely talking about two things at once. And then
Let me
immediately
be
after that
frank.
video came out, the story broke that charges were being formally like
Levied.
put against him by a totally like separate scenario than what originally got him in trouble for. But he had like groped or like molested the child of this Boston like news anchor or something, like local news
Fuck.
anchor. Yeah, I don't like on some sort of weird press tour. I don't know how it happened. It was like a few years ago. But yeah, it was like pretty funny juxtaposition of events. But that whole thing was bizarre. And after just a year of silence, he posts this like what seems to be like his fucking like tape, basically. And I think he's just either lost it or his PR people. That's the thing that gets me, is that this video was produced well, like professional camera, like lighting. Someone had to like edit this, upload it.
Someone's on his side about this for sure.
Yeah,
A team of people.
like a team, like more people than just him were involved in the making of this thing. I can't imagine Kevin Spacey setting up a tripod in his kitchen, then taking the footage to his computer to edit it himself.
Was he doing anything while he was talking?
He would like occasionally like chop vegetables or move shit around, but like most of the time he was just like would stop and just like look
Who
at the
told
camera.
him this was a good idea? Obviously,
had-
the district attorney in a mustache is
the
an impossible
district attorney
thing.
mustache. But basically he's like, I don't even know in what way could you use this as evidence though, because
You can't use it as evidence. It's just him being crazy.
it's him being like insane, and I just don't even know what to
I guess you
make
could
of
use
it.
it as evidence for a person who's lost their fucking mind.
Like, you're right, and then that the last season of House of Cards was bad,
But
not
also,
necessarily,
maybe
but not necessarily
hold it
because
together.
he wasn't in it. It could have been good, but it was just written poorly, which was an
Oh, yeah,
issue with the
totally.
show long before he left, and he's just
It was also
insane.
strange that I know you were supposed to disconnect the character from the person, and not necessarily in all instances, but this specific thing I'm talking about, where Claire would come to the defense of Frank, like post mortem in those
Yeah.
episodes of the show, and it
Yeah.
felt really weird because it was like she was defending Kevin Spacey, which is obviously not the case, but that was the vibe I got. It was
yeah.
so weird.
The
Not
whole-
that that was what they were doing, and that's the vibe, but like it was strange to hear that. You know?
Yeah,
Like, I guess that doesn't make sense.
In the video, he also implied that his character wasn't really dead because we didn't see him die. So like he was like trying to set up some sort of like comeback.
It was
I
like
guess?
in like superhero movies when at the end of the credits you'd be like, Kevin Spacey will return.
Jesus. And
so
then
fucked
the
up.
video ends on a like stock movie sound effect that's literally the dun 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 thing, and it makes no sense whatsoever. Like he's doing the little like Dracula shock drama sound effect
That's
to his
weird.
own thing. The whole thing makes no sense. If you can stomach it, I do recommend like watching it if you want to see a man like on his last legs.
Make a fucking fool of himself.
Yeah, exactly. So
And
it was this.
It shouldn't. For some reason, it is completely tasteless. For someone who seemed like he was not an idiot, which is like to say that he should know that this is gonna look real fucking bad.
Yeah.
Which tells me that he does know it's gonna look bad, and he doesn't give a shit anymore, and he's lost his goddamn mind. Is what I think.
I think he's like trying to appeal to some strange Kevin
Black
Spacey
comedy?
fan base out there. No, not even that. But like he thinks the people are still like on his side, maybe. And it's weird. I was on the House of Cards. I was on the House of Cards subreddit when this came out, and that sub is pretty dead now because the show's over and the last season was bad. But the few people that were in there were like some of the normal reactions were like, "This is fucking weird. Like, what is this?" And then like some other people were like, "Yes, Frank, please come back." Yada yada, all this stuff, and like people bringing up the old like, "He was never found guilty," whatever, blah blah blah. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I know it's so stupid. So like,
that's how it works with allegations.
You have the fucking like gross reactions like that. And so I guess Kevin Spacey did some sort of calculus in that he thought there were way more of those like cretins out there that are like, I love Kevin Spacey. I'll watch whatever he does, even if he is fucking a child molester or whatever. It's fine, you know, separate the artist from the art. Or he hasn't even been found guilty yet, so...
But he's now combining them.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
He's taking controversy that happens in real life and then playing a character covering that like a reporter. It's so fucking creepy.
It's the other thing. I just could not... He touched on so many things in that video. Pun
It's
not
obvious.
intended.
He made it obvious.
It was an obvious allusion to what had happened.
Obvious doesn't even cover it. Like, it was intentionally, that is it. There was no, like, step you had to take to discover, oh, maybe he's talking about this. It was so blatant. That's the word I want to use. It's like, you weird motherfucker. What is wrong with you?
I just don't know why he felt the need to do it in this way. Why did you have to do, like, some sort of strange performance in your old character that is, like, addressing things vaguely? Like, he could have just done a much more straightforward, like, vlog and was just like, hey, guys, Kevin Spacey here. Like, the last show sucked. Please put me back on the show. But no, he went out and, like,
even that
someone had to, like, write a script for this.
You
like,
know,
there's no way he, like, ad-libbed all of this because the delivery was, like, pretty, you know, rehearsed, I guess you could say.
I mean, he's Kevin Spacey.
That's true. But still, like, it definitely, he still, like, performed this bizarre little video. And I just don't, I really want to know what's next for him. Like, I would have loved.
Do you care that much?
I don't care, but it's more like watching a train on fire crash.
But that's what he wants now. He wants an audience for his weird, and I keep saying, I've said it once already, but black comedy, like,
I don't even think it's black comedy. It's not funny.
It is.
It's just like,
it is. You know it is, because he is definitely talking about allegations that actually happened in real life, in a character on a TV show, in a video on the internet. He is targeting the section of our brain that's just like, that's so fucking, and you laugh almost because it's so fucked up.
yeah,
It's just weird.
I mean, I feel like following what happens next, like, I'm not giving him anything though. Or maybe I'm giving him, like, the attention he wants.
I guess if you look at it on, like, your Twitter feed or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. But like rubbing your hands and like, yeah, what's next in this train of events? It's just, it doesn't matter that much.
No, I mean,
At the end of the day, you know exactly what you need to know about him.
I don't care. I just want to know if, like, he's gonna go to jail or not, or what is gonna happen there exactly.
Can he go to jail for something that happened that long ago? Statute.
Yeah, if charges are being brought against him, yeah.
For new stuff?
For him
The Boston
molesting
thing?
that Boston thing, yeah. For sure.
Good.
I mean, the thing with him and Anthony Rapp or whatever, the dude from Star Trek, I think the statute of limitations on that has run out. But this other thing, for sure, charges are being brought up against him. So
It's gonna be like OJ, where he got off and then he was like, "See ya, suckers," and then he, like, what did he do? He robbed for his, like, his memorabilia or something like that.
Yeah,
and then
he
got
did.
locked up again.
God.
And he was just like, fuck. And Kevin Spacey's going to have that happen.
Dude, I watched that whole like 10-hour ESPN OJ documentary, and since I wasn't like alive or too young to remember what exactly happened, that whole thing was bizarre. I can't believe people got so sucked into that. And the hilarious thing is that this dude gets through this whole ordeal and his life just devolves so quickly. He ends up on some weird reality TV show, and then he just ends up being this like old, like greasy, like washed up guy. And then he fucking like goes to Vegas with like some weird squad of dudes who like enable his worst habits and like pull a gun on some memorabilia collector who they were. Yeah. And then that's what he goes to jail for. Like, that's what he goes down for, like, years later.
So I guess it's not like that because that crime was so different than the one he got off for. But with Kevin Spacey, it's again like he gets off, then years later he just becomes this fucking psycho and then does it again, and then
it's like Al Capone going to jail for tax evasion.
The drunk history on Al Capone is the most funny fucking thing in the universe.
Is Drunk History a YouTube series or a Comedy Central?
It's a Comedy Central thing, but nobody fucking watches TV anymore, so it's a YouTube
True.
thing.
Okay. I need to watch that because I've heard like plenty of good things, but like okay, I'll check it out.
Who's the Will Sasso? He's in that fucking one, and the guy who's telling the story is like, he sort of just lost his goddamn mind because he was a syphilitic idiot and his brain got rot. And then Will Sasso is saying that, and he's just explaining it like it's like the matter of fact thing. Will Sasso's vines about his mom and pop thing, where he'll be like, I'm going to show you down here in Brooklyn, this nice place you could go to, this mom and pop joint. You'll never find it anywhere else. And there's like Starbucks. You go to this place, you get a cup of coffee. You'll never find another cup of coffee like this. And it's just like, you ever need a Band-Aid? You go to Rite Aid. This mom and pop joint. He's a really fucking funny guy.
I'll have to check that out. Okay, but yeah, long story short, Kevin Spacey
is a monster.
Is an actual maniac.
He's a completely goddamn idiot.
Do not recommend.
What else happened recently?
There was I don't know. There was like, what have I even been doing with my life recently?
Who cares?
Oh, did you get anything cool for Christmas?
I got this really cool knife from my little brother.
Oh yeah, you sent him a picture of that. That's pretty cool.
It was like the Secret Santa thing. And then I had my older sister, and she lives in Hawaii, so I had to mail it to her. Mm-hmm. And she opens her stuff like 5 hours difference earlier from us. Yeah. So I was waiting tooth and nail about it. And she eventually says, like, thanks, I guess. Because I sent her a VHS copy of the first Pokemon movie. And inside was a sticky note that said, you're an idiot. So,
Jesus. I mean, does she actually, like,
did she expect Pokemon? Something? I'm sure she did.
Does she like Pokemon or, like, what?
I just remember seeing it and being like, oh, yeah, I need to get Allie something.
And you just got all this stuff at thrift stores, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I got my mom. I got a gift for everyone in my house for some reason. I don't know. Wow. It's fun getting stuff from people.
Jesus, Patrick, your heart is like...
I mean, I got my older brother a lighter. I got my younger brother a K-bar, which is a very nice knife. It's like a combat knife.
Oh, I heard you say candy bar, and I was like, that's fine, I guess.
No, it's just like, you ever think of like a stereotypical knife a soldier would have? That's what a candy bar is. And,
like a combat knife, okay.
Because he's going to be a soldier or whatever. And I got my dad a book. I got my mom a nice book. Yeah.
God damn. It would be really funny if everyone in the house got a knife and you all just like had like knife war or something.
Honestly, at this point, my mom, she's like all about Christmas. I tweeted once a little while ago, I was just like, if there was a genie that suddenly appeared in my house and forced my mom to choose between Christmas and having skin, she would have a significant amount of hesitation. And that's completely true of her. And she always like pries for like gift ideas for us because we don't talk to each other. We all hate each other. And so all I say is like knives and lighters because that's all I want. And she had a hand in getting me that knife from my little brother because, so that was nice.
That is interesting.
She got me a bunch of chocolate, which I put in a little lockbox because I refuse to eat that stuff anymore.
She should have gotten you a knife that also doubles as a lighter.
That would be cool. There's this piece of wood in the backyard, and it looks like the right size for me to make a wand because I can't get enough of Harry Potter, man. I want to live in that world
Really?
because I feel like my personality would so beautifully contrast with people who actually care about stuff. And I would so immediately look for the spell that would blow up the universe.
So you're gonna fucking make a wand from a piece of wood you found in the backyard.
I do carpentry.
There was a kid. Really, you do carpentry?
I do whittling.
There was a kid I was friends with in middle school who was, I think I mentioned this before, was really into outdoorsy shit and stuff. Like he had access to like pretty cool woods in his backyard and a cool little stream, and we'd always like go into the woods and like make forts and shit. But he also had this spot in his basement where he would like make like wooden swords and like different like wooden weapons and stuff all the time. And I thought that was like the coolest shit in the world. Like he would constantly just like show me how it was done. Like you just cut the pieces, like sand them down. Like here's how you like duct tape the handle together properly or something. And it was like actually pretty professionally done, all things considered, for something that was homemade. And this was before like YouTube tutorials were like big or anything.
Oh, I was so into that. I think I told you how I made all those cardboard guns when I was younger.
Yeah. And like we would just fucking like walk into the woods with like these weapons to like defend ourselves in case anything ever happened.
It sounds headass as fuck, but it was such a fucking blast doing that, wasn't it?
It was really fun. Like we made a fucking like, we really like fucking tried to be like Davy Crockett or whatever. Like that was fun. That was like the innocence of like childhood.
Then it was like knives were the first thing, and then I discovered lighters, and I was just like, ugh.
Then we also like got really into bows and arrows. Like he made a bow and arrow from scratch.
You said you saw a deer and you wanted to kill it.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to kill it. I was fucking
you definitely
like
wanted to. You want to shoot it right in its anus.
Like we were like we could shoot that deer right now, and then we were like that'd be kind of fucked up. But then like so like we didn't. But still, we were like cosplaying too hard, probably. Yeah.
It's called LARPing.
LARPing, excuse me, the proper term.
Fucking idiot.
All right, do you have anything else you want to bring up before I get into emails?
No, let's continue talking. What else happened?
What?
I know there was something else I was thinking about talking about.
Oh, the Jordan Peele trailer.
Oh, yeah.
It looks crazy.
People had a bunch of, like, no, there was that, but also the Bird Box thing.
Oh, I haven't watched that. But
It's
Kalina
so
said it was really
shitty.
scary. Yeah, is it?
It's so bad.
It's with Sandra Bullock and like all these
It's
like
so
amazing actors.
stupid. Like the idea is awesome, and it's really cool for the first like 3 minutes.
Isn't it just like Quiet Place but with eyes?
Don't even. It's like Quiet Place is like leagues above this. It is so weirdly bad. It's like a TV movie.
What? Okay, so you can spoil it for me if you want. I don't really give a shit.
Do you want to watch it tonight?
No, I'm going out tonight.
You fuck.
Maybe like tomorrow or like the next day.
You're son of a bitch.
I know.
But yeah, it's really bad.
But you can spoil it for me if you want. Spoilers for Bird Box. Like I just want to know, like, explain to me the premise and like how it ends. I don't care.
I didn't watch it to the end.
Really?
Yeah.
That bad?
Pretty bad.
What I love.
It's like Sandra Bullock, and she obviously acting her pants off because I actually saw also Ocean's 8, which I enjoyed a lot.
Oh, I wanted to watch that on the plane, but
pretty good.
I watched
definitely a watch on the plane.
I watched
I
watched the Predator, the new one on the plane back to the U.S.
Ass.
And it was. I'll say that it started off real bad, and I was like, "This movie's garbage." And then
at the end, when he gets his Master Chief suit,
I was getting more entertained, like as it went on. Honestly,
take it like a Transformers movie.
Yeah, it was like a good time. Like I was definitely like, this is a pretty stupid movie, and there's definitely like some weird shit going on, like the way they treat the Jacob Tremblay character who has autism or whatever as like a genius. They did that weird trope again. I was like, that's fucked.
It's savant syndrome, which they have. Every person with autism or Asperger's or whatever, they immediately have that as well. It's just like, we can't have an actually like regular ordinary autistic person, because then it would be just annoying to have them in there. They have to be a genius as well.
Yeah, it was this weird thing where like the opening scene where he's at school and like these like random bullies come in and they're like, "Come on, man, this kid's not even worth like picking on or whatever."
I hate that shit.
And then like as soon as they leave, he starts like picking up all the like chess pieces that they like put like threw on the ground and like starts placing them back in the exact order they were in like mid game to show that he's like this genius. And I was like, what a weird fucking way to like do that.
And his ability to use the alien technology was the dumbest fucking thing.
Yeah, that also like that whole thing barely makes sense.
Just
and then
the team of idiots that they had, where they were like, we're the cool crew. We're like, we don't play by the rules. It's like, you're in an organized military. You can't just
Exactly.
What?
Sterling K. Brown's character was incredibly obnoxious. I really like Sterling K. Brown, but
we called it Predator because it sounds cooler.
Yeah, he was literally like, he was like, "That's badass," and I was like, "Who are you? Like, what?" Like, he's
you know how scientists talk.
It was bizarre, and I was just like, "Someone kill this dude already!" And like the guy who, the main guy, Boyd Holbrook, I think is his name.
Boyd.
I don't know, which is a weird name.
I'm Boyd. How you doing?
He was like such a typical like damaged like alpha male dude with like family problems, and I was like, you could have gotten so many other like more interesting places with this, but okay, we'll just do this again.
Wasn't Olivia Munn in that movie?
She was, and
she's probably my least favorite actor on the planet. She's the most nothing person that has ever existed.
I did not mind her, but like the way she said things sometimes was weird. Like when she started talking about the predator science or whatever, it like didn't sound real.
See, they made that cool. I don't remember which one it was. The one with the guy who was in the buddy cop movie that got remade into like a live action, not like an actual TV show. What? The buddy cop movie where it's like Lethal Weapon.
Oh, that's Predator 2 you're talking about.
That one. Then the guy like stumbles into like the SWAT van where it's like the government's watching the Predator, and he explains this like cell phones, satellites, everything we have we got from him. And so they don't mess with the Predator because he'll teach them stuff. That was interesting. But no, it's like cool. iOS bullshit, and then the giant Predator rips the small Predator in half.
Exactly. They went so quickly with like the Predator Mega Predator thing, and then there were Predator dogs, and then they lobotomized a Predator dog, and it became friendly.
It became like a docile like German Shepherd.
Yeah, that was weird. And then the end with like I don't know if I actually wanted this or if like what it seemed cool at the moment was when they were finally opening up that chest or thing that the Predator had like given them. I thought like they're like, this thing is called Predator Killer, and I was like, ooh, it's gonna be like the xenomorph from Alien or something crazy like that. And I was like, that's gonna be like a cool little crossover. But then it ended up just being like an Iron Man suit that looks comically stupid. Like just
He's like, that's my new suit.
And then the dude, he literally just delivers the cheesiest fucking like.
It's like a setup for.
He's like, "That's my new suit, Bucko," and I was like, "Oh god."
They were real confident that they were gonna get a franchise out of that.
Yeah,
they were the what's it, the Dark Universe, cinematic universe with like Johnny Depp and all that crap.
Yeah.
And at the end of Dracula Untold, they've got the guy from Game of Thrones who's like, "And the game
is on."
Fucking bullshit, you dumb motherfuckers.
The guys from the Weekly Planet, have the Game Is On
I
award.
Remember exactly what you're talking about.
The Game Is On award, where they like pick the movie with like the worst like failed sequel setup, and I think the Predator is that for this year for sure. Or maybe the Mummy. Did the Mummy come out this year?
Oh no! That was like a year and a half ago.
God, time fucking flies.
That was such a bad movie.
I didn't even watch it.
It was real bad.
Yeah, no, it was stupid. And Russell Crowe was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
That wasn't bad. I enjoyed that. Russell Crowe's just fun.
He's an interesting character. But
I
besides
saw
the
Gods
point,
of Egypt. He was in that, right?
Gods of Egypt is so bad.
No, that's the other guy.
That's
the guy who talks out of the side of his mouth.
Who's that?
That's.
Do you mean? I have no idea who you're talking about. Oh, Gerard Butler.
Butler. Those two are clones.
They do look alike. Russell Crowe looks like an older.
They just
Gerard
seem
Butler.
alike. They play the alpha dude who wins.
Yeah, they do. Oh god. Okay. Anyways, but no, I kind of wish it was the xenomorph from Alien that popped out at the end and just started like, maybe like I don't know. They couldn't tame it though. I'm not exact. Maybe the Predator thinks that like, oh here, have this like very dangerous creature that will kill the Predator for you, and then it accidentally just starts killing like everyone on like Earth.
Do you think Ridley Scott, they came up to him and they were like, we want to, and he was like, get the fuck away from me.
Well, Ridley Scott doesn't own
I know
everything Alien, but still, I'm sure, I don't know why anyone asks Ridley Scott to do anything anymore, because most all of his movies are bad.
Shut the
lately.
fuck up.
Except for The
I'll
Martian.
kill you.
The Martian is fine.
Martian, the comedy of the year. Fucking.
I hope you don't defend Alien Isolation, because that was a
Alien,
the
Blade
video game,
Runner.
sorry. He did not direct Blade Runner in 2049.
No, the first one.
I said the stuff he did recently. He obviously did
cares?
some classic shit, which I appreciate.
I liked both of the Covenant and
Alien Covenant was
Prometheus. I love those movies.
I like.
They're shit alien movies, but they're fun sci-fi movies. They're like Oblivion.
Alien Prometheus. Prometheus. Well, basically, is Alien Prometheus. I enjoyed it, but it does have a lot of issues. If you care about the plot of those movies,
you're an idiot.
How dare I care about the story of the story I'm
being told? No, it's like you walk up and it's fucking thrift store. You know what you're getting into.
Thrift store.
They didn't lie to you. They know they're bad.
I don't think they know they're bad. I think they're definitely trying to like.
Well, they have to
create
pretend
this like
to be
bigger
good, but they're like,
story.
well, we're really, we know what we're doing. We have no fucking clue what we're doing.
I thought the ending to Alien Covenant was so stupid.
Let me think. What was it?
It was Michael Fassbender.
I don't care.
Taking over the ship secretly and putting that lady to sleep.
With Michael Fassbender, both movies were really interesting.
Michael Fassbender.
Dude, the robot fight where Michael Fassbender kisses himself and then fights himself. And then he plays a flute.
It's such a strange,
your lips and blow.
Like totally out of context. Like this is the most stupid fucking conversation
Michael Fassbender
ever.
Is the actor who plays the first android in Prometheus, and his name is David. And then in the second movie, David is found by a new crew of people who have the new model of David, who's this Boston dude who's just like, you make people uncomfortable. I have the dumbest accent in the world. No one sounds like this. People thought you were too human. You had feelings. Let's make out. They also should have known he was a fucking villain from the moment they saw him. He's in this fucking fortress of evil with all of his little like paper mache dolls of people getting stabbed, and he's just like, maybe we could be together. I'll help you get back to your ship.
It's like, please ignore the skeletons on the wall. Those
I walk around barefoot.
Oh my god. All right, I am actually going to move on to emails now because I want to put clothes on.
What are you doing tonight?
I'm going out.
With who?
My friends from high school.
I wish I had friends.
Yeah, it sucks. You and Yaman should get together sometime.
Yaman doesn't do stuff.
Occasionally he does. And hopefully he will this time.
See, you say that because you've gotten to experience the times where he would come out, but you don't have to do the manhandling process it gets to get him out.
What is that manhandling process exactly?
About 37 days of begging, a couple of threats.
You should get started now, then maybe.
Look at this picture I drew, and I was trying to draw me, and I didn't even notice that I gave him sharp teeth. It was just so programmed into my brain.
Let me see. You didn't send it.
I'm sending it now. You read first.
Your signal is bad. I need this. I need to see your talents.
Start reading.
Oh, you want me to read? Fine. This one's from Abby. Dear dudes, to preface this mistake story, I work at a library as a librarian's aide. I do everything you would think a librarian does, aka putting books on shelves and making sure everything in the library is in order. Not that librarians don't do that. That's just the main part of my job. Today, I was the only one working the morning shift for the library, so I was doing all the morning tasks by myself. It's been quiet at the library because of the holidays, so I decided that no one would have noticed one of my AirPods in while I shelved books. The mistake here being that I was on the main floor shelving books as Yaman and Patrick start arguing more and more about Spider-Man, and I needed to slip into the corners of the library so that I could laugh and not let my boss see me. The reason why this is mistake 2 is because I was the one who sent in the email about how I made the mistake of listening to an old episode during a lecture, and it took every ounce of me not to lose my shit at the phrase, we don't want weak kids.
Everybody loves that story.
That's a good story. During this lecture, I need to stop listening to this podcast in places where I should be quiet. Again, you guys are great with all this talk of people sending in doodles and Patrick posting stuff in his story. I've gone back into drawing again, and I appreciate it. And keep the podcast suggestions coming. Reply All is so interesting. Thank you. Reply All is amazing. And finally, here's an actual question. What video games would you guys suggest for people to look into, whether it be for casual players or those more invested players? Personally, I play a lot of Nintendo games, mainly Super Mario Bros. And games like Uncharted and Until Dawn. I've been waiting to get into Halo, Bioshock, and the Zelda universe. From Abigail. P.S. Yaman, get cultured. Go to the Cheesecake Factory. It's not all sweet cheese. I'll fight you. I'll be sure to pass that message along.
Also, cheesecake doesn't taste like cheese. But anyway,
it doesn't.
If we're talking Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Assassin's Creed Origins for people who just want to play a good game.
Video games you suggest for people that look into it for casual players or more invested players. So basically, like, what video games do I
Origins
suggest
is kind of both.
in general? Super Mario Odyssey is great if you have a Switch. Play The Last of Us if you have a PlayStation.
Journey is great for casual people.
What is?
Journey.
Dirty?
Journey.
Oh, Journey. Journey's good. That's also on PlayStation. Play God of War. Play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Play. I'm literally just listing off games that I like. What are like the essential ones?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild is good. I would honestly suggest playing
Smash.
like Wind Waker. Smash is fun. Play maybe some Telltale games like The Walking Dead Season 1 is really good.
Yeah.
That's just the first one though. The rest of them kind of get bad.
Yeah.
BioShock is great. BioShock 1 and Infinite. I even like 2. 2 is kind of underrated, I think, even though it's not as good as the first one. What's an easy game? I'm trying to think.
Easy game.
Like an easy game that anyone can play.
Spider-Man.
I'm thinking more like no combat games.
Fucking Journey, dude.
Oh, Portal. I was thinking of Portal. Play Portal. Portal 1 and 2.
That's problem solving.
Those are like must plays for sure. Do those. Thank you. Next one is from McKaylee. Hey dudes, I know y'all were confused about the difference between bi and pan in your recent episode and previous episodes when it was brought up. So as someone who used to identify as pan and now as bi, I figured I'd kind of clear it all up.
Cool.
If that makes sense. Anyways, so in my opinion, there isn't really a difference between bi and pan. Bi people can be romantically and sexually attracted to anyone just as much as pan people. I've had genuine feelings for non-binary people, cis people, and trans people. The bisexual community has always included being attracted to non-binary people, and it always will. Oof, that was a long story, guys, but here's a TikTok I made to make it up to you. Okay, bye. I don't know if I want to look at this. Oh, I have to download this? Never mind. This is a virus. Fuck you. I don't trust it. Is there like a council of like a bisexual community that votes on whether or not they're allowed to be attracted to non-binary people?
Whoever's left on Tumblr.
Yeah. Well, not for long. Thank you, McKaylee.
Cool, though. That's good to know.
It is good to know. So you're totally in the clear, Pat.
So wait, which one am I?
I have to remind you that you're bi.
Why?
Or both.
Wait, which one's bi, though? Is it the one where you just like two dudes?
It doesn't matter.
Read it again.
The point of the email is that it doesn't matter. You can be attracted to anyone you want.
I choose to identify as demon sexual.
That's good. Sounds good.
You know those people who are super hilarious comedians and they say, "I'm an attack helicopter."
Yeah, my fucking roommates were kind of like dude bros would joke about that all the time, and I was like,
dude, those guys are fucking hilarious. Jesus Christ, have you ever thought of stand up?
They're the masters of comedy.
In your goddamn house.
Hey dudes, I agree with Patrick about Spider-Man's webs. If the web code is kept in liquid form in his wrist gauntlets, it can be cooled sufficiently so that it decreases in volume and can be stored easily.
Yeah, I thought of that too.
Comics, like, this isn't like a real thing. Like, hang on. This isn't like the body where it needs to keep your testicles outside of the rest of your body to keep your like sperm cooler or whatever. This is like fictional web fluid.
Hey Pena.
What?
Shut the fuck up. Keep reading.
I disagree. That's it. It just says, love when you guys talk about comics, Ben. Thank you,
Ben. Sounds like it was conclusive evidence and Yaman can go fuck himself.
The only reason we've read this is because it agrees with Patrick and he wanted to flex. So.
Patrick agrees with Patrick.
Yes. Oh, this is just a fan art thing that we already posted from Grace. Thank you. Go please check that out. It's the Holiday Dudes one. It was very lovely. She put a lot of work into it, and it's nice. Let's see. I think that's all. We're dry on emails at the moment. Let me pull up the YouTube, see if we got anything in there. But other than that, that might be it. Patrick, tell a story while I pull this up.
There was once a man who was born, and then he met this asshole at his job, and that asshole thought that he would play Destiny, and then they played Destiny, and one of them told the other one that he got to level 15, even though the beta didn't let you get past level 10, and he believed him because he was such a liar, and then they both lived happily ever.
What a stupid story. Anyways,
I know.
this is a YouTube comment from Robert. He says his organic webbing is stored in his balls. I mean, come on, the shit he puts himself through to save the day. That dude must have the biggest balls in the world. Thank you, Robert. That's great. That's a very
Disagree.
That's a hard disagree. Interesting. I would actually wager to say that.
Actually, no. Flaccid disagree.
Shut the fuck up. All right. Unless you have anything to add, I'm just gonna close it out.
Anything.
Go buy stocks now. The market is low, and your investment will pay off in another year. That's my advice.
I ate Yum, and he's never coming back.
That's true. He was at work. Sorry, we always forget to mention where he is. But yeah, he's working. He will
Not like
maybe
anybody
be
ever
back.
messages us about where Yaman is. Nobody cares
Yeah.
about him.
Thank you for listening again to the Prude podcast. If you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, that's at Prude. If you want to follow us on our personal accounts, I'm at AlexPena97. Patrick's at PatrickShaw205. Yaman is at _Yaman. You can also send us fan mail, fan questions, fan arts. Send that to prudedudes@gmail.com. And we also cannot forget about our fantastic Patreon patrons. If you want to become one of these fine folk, you can just go to patreon.com/prudedudes. We've got Cassidy, David, Aaron, Everso Joe, Jake, Katie, Marianne, Monty, Pip-Pap, Scallywab, Rebecca, Tara, Vanessa, and Jessica. Thank you all so much for being amazing people. If you want to join them, hit up patreon.com/prudedudes. Throw your dirty pennies at us, and we'll thank you forever. Anyways, guys, hope you had a great Christmas, and we will see you again next week.